All right. I'm going to give this a couple minutes here. I don't know what's wrong with Streamlabs, but it crashed again. So, just going to kind of give everyone a couple minutes. So, yeah, sorry guys. I'm just giving everyone a couple minutes here, real quick, to kind of join in. I don't know what the deal is whenever I'm playing music, the stream crashes. Again, I'll try and figure that out, but for the time being, I'm just going to give everyone a quick couple minutes to join in before I start. Dorian, what's up, man? How's it going? From Colombia, South America? How's that? I've really wanted to fish the Amazon River. I don't know what it is, but it's just so fascinating to me. I mean, it's probably I know what it is. It's because there's infinite wildlife there, right? So, Bogota City, cold. Wow. Yeah, it's been super boring, man. I just like I haven't made a trade in almost 60 days. Doesn't Bogota mean ticket in Spanish? Am I wrong about that? I feel like I should. Oh, that's. It's boleto. Okay, sorry. Messed that up. Yeah, I've always wanted to go with my dad to the Amazon. Now, granted, we'd have to get vaccinated, be expensive and everything. It'd be probably a 2 week trip. I don't know if he's down for that. It's when you're fishing the Amazon, it's no joke. What's up, yes sir? So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna give everyone another minute, then I'll get started. I don't know what happened. Every time I play music, the stream crashes, or like when I play the intro, it crashes. So I got to look into that. But for the time being, just gonna kind of give everyone another minute here. I do hope you guys had a nice weekend. We had some nice weather here. Uh, yeah, I feeling very sleep deprived. I've got this new puppy. He's almost 9 weeks old. It's a huge pain in the ass. I mean, I know. So it's like I know we'll love him, but it's just like such a pain in the ass. That you just like you don't like dislike him, you don't hate him, but you're just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like I've raised dogs before, right? And you kind of just like they're just annoying, right? When something's annoying you all the time, you just kind of resent it. But I know he'll be good later. Bro, one suggestion: avoid being biased. I have never been biased. Uh, I don't think I've ever been biased, ever. I trade the chart. I don't trade because I think something's gonna happen. You guys have to remember, being biased and trading your system. So if my system isn't bearish, I'm not gonna short. Now, if I'm biased bearish and ignoring my trading system, that's where your problem is, right? So being if your trading system is telling you, hey, there's a possibility of a long setup coming, there's nothing confirming bearish, so on and so forth, then you look for longs, right? If you're biased short because you believe all of these things and you're not paying attention to the chart, you have to remember trading is obviously you can be a fundamental trader, but we trade based off TA. We don't trade based off news. Unless some crazy black swan event comes, I'm just I don't think we're gonna just collapse, right? My analysis are so confusing. I don't think it's that confusing. Or how is it confusing you? Because what I do is, guys, first of all, I don't post trades on Twitter. I don't tell you where to long or where to short. I don't tell you, I do that in my Discord for my patrons. And part of the reason for that is a lot of you people on Twitter, one, you take everything out of context. Two, it's very hard for me to give you a very quick update or, explain it further because I'm limited to 200 characters, right? There's a lot of reasons why I don't share trades, but the biggest one is I think a lot of you just have no clue what you're doing. You don't understand risk management. You don't understand how the market works or what to look for. So I don't share them, right? Every once in a while I'll share a trade, right? Every once in a while. But usually not. My analysis over the last several weeks has been the same. I'm looking for a long setup because I don't see a short setup. I don't know. It's so confusing. Now, am I going to miss possible moves up or down because I don't see that setup? Possibly. But I'm not giving you some, 3 months from here, this is what's going to happen. Because I have no idea. I don't have that data in front of me to make that assumption. Do we need money printing for a new bull run? I don't think so. How you doing? I'm following you on Twitter. Really like your strategy. Pretty similar to mine. Glad you like it. Yeah, it's like I'm not trying to put anyone down or call anyone stupid. I'm not calling anyone out, but there's a couple reasons why I don't post a lot of stuff on Twitter, and I don't post like I give you guys a daily update. Maybe I'll send something out, and I also tweet over multiple time frames. Right? If I post a weekly chart, that differs from how I look at the daily, and that differs how I look at the 4-hour. Right? So there's way too many moving parts for me to make it completely simplified and to give you trade setups, because I might see something on that 4-hour that's bullish, but I might see something on the 1-hour or the 1 day that's bearish. Does that mean I'm going to trade the 4-hour? No, but I might expect a move upwards to complete a setup pattern in the 1 day to take a short. That's kind of how that works. But yeah. Like, so Dorian, what I do is, and I know it costs money, right? But I encourage you guys, whether it's through me or through yourself, to develop your own system, right? You can take my 4-month trading course and I will teach you how to trade my system. I will teach you how different indicators work, how confluence work, how risk management works, how to stay consistently profitable, XYZ LMNOP. I will teach you all of that, but you don't have to use me. You can do your own research. Now, granted, that's going to take you a monstrosity, a monstrous amount of time than learning it from someone who's used it and been successful. But what I tell these people, if they want to learn the trade subs or they want that other information, you have to pay for it. And part of that paying for it is, one, I'm providing you information that can make you millions of dollars potentially. Two, that information I cannot provide on Twitter because I'm limited to 200 characters and I can't meet the needs of 50,000 people on Twitter. Right? It kind of simplifies the amount of people that want to learn, and I find that having that kind of like learning group or school, you're surrounded, or you have people that came to learn and came to say like, hey, I'm here to learn. So they're ready to learn. They're not just asking stupid questions or trolling or any of that. And unfortunately, paying for that kind of like filters all the trolls out and filters all the stupid questions out. Right. So that's more or less why I do it. There's a million reasons, but those are the big ones. And yes, I make money from it. Well, great. And as much as I'm going to get criticized for that, I've had people that have completely changed their lives, and not because I'm making that up, because they've sent me heartfelt messages and they're like, oh my God, I took this and my life's changed. I retired my parents. I mean, like, I can't name their names, but all of that information is under the testimonials. I had to wipe some of the names because they asked me to, but I don't know if you want to join. I could charge an arm and a leg for the things that I know and can teach you, but I don't. I charge enough that keeps me interested, and I charge enough so that anyone can join. And just so that everybody knows, I charge less than the jiu-jitsu school I go to charges per month, which is pretty wild. Right, let's get into this. So SP 500, this is huge. I really like this. We have some bullish divergence here. Nice correction between these 2 points. What I wouldn't like to see is this, right? Because then you're talking about a double top. I'd really like to see this just continue upwards. My best. So from what I think is going to happen, we'll at least get to this area. What happens to this area? We go down or up. That depends on, obviously a million things, but this level is important. If we reject 4,600, you're looking at a double top. You're looking at a potential, fall all the way down to this area. If we break out of 4,600 again, very, very macro bullish, as I've expecting, right? A couple weeks ago, I said we could go, we could hit this level, come back down, go up. We could do this. We could do this. We could do that. I'm expecting to continue going up, right? So, but let's keep moving. The XY. So this is huge. I have no idea what to think of this. I've tried the bear flag. I've tried the downtrend. It just seems like 105 is the important level, right? So the DXY is kind of, I wouldn't say defied TA. I don't want to say that. I just think we're in a very weird time. I mean, guys, the DXY went parabolic for an entire year, right? Completely parabolic. Corrected, broke down, kind of deviated, and is now up. To me, this is never deviation, right? The original red candle, them closing back in it, breaking back above. I guess we have to call it deviation, but I'm not sure. Again, 105, the area that we need to break. If not, if we come up and reject it, I'd expect to come back down to this level. Maybe we go sideways for a while. Maybe we're just, down, sideways, and down on a macro level. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, look at this monthly chart. You have this massive move upwards, kind of correction. Now the question is, are we going to continue going upwards, which to me would be bearish, right? Ultimately, that kind of signals the end. Like, we're going to do something like this. If we go sideways and down, I'd expect to go further down. Obviously, that's the bullish scenario. Again, this would be bearish for the rest of the market. So going up would be bearish. Going down would be bullish for the rest of the market. But it's super interesting. It's really hard to judge this. Like, this just seems like a whole mess. But 105... we break 105, 108's the next level to look at. For now, again, just kind of moving sideways. I hate redrawing and and making assumptions. We defied my bear flag. We've now defied the downtrend. I'm looking at a test of 105. Could we, maybe just continue down from here? Sure. But I'd expect 105 to be touched, which again would bring markets down slightly. Let's look at the daily and see if we can see anything. So our size overbought-ish. We could get kind of a retest and continuation. I'd expect that. So you might see markets bounce a little bit in here. But ultimately 105. Pay attention to 105 and I guess 99. Those are our two levels. I'll put another blue line here or a white line there. What are my thoughts on the inverted yield curve? I think that putting all of your thoughts and opinions on one piece of data is horrible, right? People keep saying, like, what about the yield curve? What about this one thing? What about that one thing? Guys, there are millions of moving parts in our economy, and honestly, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, we have a far more diverse economy, like I'd say 10 times more diverse than 2008. And if you want to say, no, we're not, we're still the same. Like, no, we've unlocked multiple sectors of not only different tech, different car companies, think about a company like Amazon almost 15 years ago, right? I mean, think about a company like Kroger or Walmart now has online shopping. Think about Uber. Think about all these DoorDash and all of that. Like, I think comparing all of these previous data points and everything, I don't want to say they're not relevant, right? Because to be honest, they are. But God, I need to sneeze 1 second. I think comparing, like, you're comparing apples to oranges here, right? Are they fruits? Yes. Are they the same fruit? No. I think there are many different qualities. Even comparing, like, you could compare 2008 to 2000. You could compare 2000 or even 2008 to the 70s and 80s almost, because we were advancing, but we weren't doing anything. I mean, we were advancing, things were changing, but now we're changing on such a high level. I mean, we have AI technology now, right? Like, AI is the next biggest thing at the moment. And I don't know. I think comparing, like, saying, hey, what about this one indicator that has, told a recession every single time? Okay, could we get a recession in the restaurant industry? Sure. Or the restaurant industry was bad. Could we get a recession in the housing industry, but maybe not a recession in the tech industry, right? I think that is something valuable to keep in mind. I think this whole concept of every single sector is going to be affected isn't necessarily true. I mean, look at COVID, right? You had some sectors of business that were wiped, some that were, they suffered greatly. And then you had some sectors of businesses that just flourished and doubled, triple, quadrupled their profits during COVID. So I think putting an emphasis and saying the entire economy is going to crash or the entire economy is going to follow this one thing is just not even remotely true. Plus, you have to remember this, guys. We have the largest wealth transfer happening of all time. All the baby boomers are dying, right? All of them, all the baby boomers that bought their $50,000 to $60,000, $80,000 homes that are now worth millions of dollars, right? They're all dying. All of that money is going to be transferred to whether it be their kids, their friends, whoever it is. There's a massive money transfer. When you do that, now that frees up capital for a lot of people. A lot of people that didn't have money to put in the market now do. A lot of people that didn't have money to invest now do. A lot of people that didn't have money to pay their bills and pay off their debt now do. Right? So, again, you have a lot of different things happening right now. And you can't just put one indicator on you can't just take one data point and say, this is what's going to happen, right? Because it's much too complicated. Give us one direction, bro. Posting bullish scenarios since 31K. And let's bet on it all for once. No, I don't do that. So, MetaWar, so what I do is I look at a chart and I say, is there a setup, right? I'll give you guys a previous example. In January, Bitcoin daily, we were looking for a bullish setup all in here, right? Did we go up and then go down? Yes. So all this is sideways movement, right? All of this in here, sideways movement. We went up 20%. We went back down 11 to 12%, and ultimately made a double bottom reversal. Lots of bullish price action, long the shit out of it. Made $250,000, right? So why do I keep saying I'm looking for a bullish setup? Because that's why, right? If there was a bearish option, sorry, I'll expand on this further. Looking at the weekly, right? This is huge. We looked at the weekly back in January, November-ish. Between this point and this point, what do you see? Bullish divergences. That is a show and tell scenario that says we are going to have some type of relief rally. On top of that, on the weekly, we have a descending wedge. Very bullish reversal pattern. So inside of our descending wedge, we also had a double bottom on the daily, right? Super easy long there. Now, if we look at the weekly here, you could make an argument, right? You could make a giant argument that there is bearish divergence here, right? I would allow that argument. But now you have bullish divergence. I mean, what's the difference between here and here and here and here, right? So now we have bullish divergence yet again. On top of that, we have in an uptrend, we are moving sideways. What if we continue to move up? What if we continue to move sideways and go up from that? Are you going to continue shorting support like an idiot? And even on top of all of that, let's look at the daily. Other than the big drop that happened, right? And you want to keep criticizing and saying, pick a direction, pick this, pick that. No, I don't pick a direction. I trade the chart. Like the people that are posting ultimatums and demanding ultimatums, you will never make it as a trader ever. If you're saying, I need this answer, I need this ultimatum, no, you need to be able to adjust. So for the first peak here, so we peak, right? All the way until this big red candle, right? So from peak, so from here to here, right? Point A, point B. So from point A to point B, we have volume decreasing. That is not a sign of a strong downtrend. Now, does the market does what the market wants to do? Sure. We can dump. And I just want to put this out there. I never took any longs in here. I still haven't taken any longs. I haven't done anything in almost 50 days. And for those of you that say, oh, well, that's stupid, you could have traded all this. No, I can't, because my trading system doesn't work in all this. I don't day trade. I don't care to day trade. It's a waste of time. And again, for those of you that say, oh, well, your trading system might not work, then guys, I've almost made $400,000 trading this year. That's more than 92% of Americans make on average, right? So I'm doing better than 92% of you, or at least 92% of America. And I'm not trying to say this to say I'm better than you, but what I am trying to say is my trading system works, and I'm looking for a setup, whether that be longing, shorting, whatever. Let's say the market does this, right? I'm going to short this. That's a double top. I'm going to short it, right? Let's say the market does this. That's a double bottom. I'm going to long that. If the market just does this, there's nothing for me to do. If the market just does this, there's nothing for me to do, right? Until there is an hour for a double bottom there. There is nothing for me to do. So again, I'm a swing trader. I don't do this, oh, today we're going to do this, and tomorrow we're going to do this, and next week we're going to do this. No, I trade setups. I trade different risk metrics. And to be honest, I only take like 20 trades a year, right? Even if I lose on half of those, the ones that I win on, I'm golden, right? So looking for the much larger moves, I could honestly care. I mean, yes, it does suck to miss out on this. If you shorted from top to bottom, you made 20%, and that's great. And I'm happy for you. How many people did that? I doubt any did, right? If you shorted, which I know a lot of people did, shorted from here to here, you're making 10%, right? That's chump change. Guys, I made almost 100% on this move up, right? On this entire move from 15 to, what was it, 31,000, we almost doubled my trading portfolio, right? On top of that, for the last, entire year, we were dollar cost averaging all of this. If we never see below this level again, I absorb the bottom, right? So again, I don't do this thing where I do ultimatums and I trade, ultimatums. And if you're saying, oh, pick a direction, you have to pick a direction, you have to do this. Guys, I don't have to do jack shit, right? I'm trading what I see in the chart. If I don't see anything bullish, I'm not longing. If I don't see anything bearish, I'm not shorting. I think that's what a lot of you, not even a lot of you, I think that's what some of you that are new fail to understand, is that trading is not a biased, egotistical, I'm going to do this because I see this, or I missed out on this move that makes me a terrible trader. No, you have to make your own system and trade it. If day trading works for you, then day trade. If swing trading works for you, then swing trade. But there is a massive difference between both of those. And coming in here and saying, you need to do this and you need to do that. No, you need to learn a system and learn how to trade it, right? No, there's no double bottom on Bitcoin at the moment. Am I expecting more recession? Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting recess to be basically over, to be more or less honest with you. Right, rant over. Let's get into Bitcoin, and then I gotta go make dinner. I'm freaking starving. Had 2 hours of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and then an hour of boxing today. So, gonna look at the 4 hour. You guys know what the daily looks like. It's just sideways. And again, we're looking more or less at a bear flag, right? This is a pole. This is a flag. We're expecting this to go down. No, I'm not trading it. I don't trade this stuff. If you weren't in here, there's really no reason to enter because this thing could come all the way here, right? You don't exactly know. I would have loved to see a pattern up in here. That would have been really nice to take a short, but we never got one. Anyways, kind of expecting this, right? Some sideways and then up from there. Why? Because look at the 1 day, right? The 1 day is a perfect example of why we're expecting some type of a bounce. If we zoom out of this chart completely and we look at every single time that Bitcoin was either oversold or, I'll say massively oversold, right? Because there are times you're oversold and you just continue. But let's look at the times where Bitcoin was as oversold as we are now, right? So we're here. Do this. So, all right. Here. Oh, look at that. A bottom. Oh, look at this. A bottom. Oh, look at this. A potential bottom. We'll see, right? We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at this. Oh, look. A bottom, right? A massive move upwards. Was it any sort of a massive move? Not necessarily, but we still got a very clean and healthy bounce, right? You're looking at a 40% move upwards. Let's look at even here, right? Very close, not as quite, but close. Nice double bottom, upward move. I think that was 80%. Let's look at some of these, right? You have two moves. One that ended up working out with the inverted head and shoulders. It's a 50% move upwards. And then here, this was a news-based event. So I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that. But again, look at all these times, right? And tell yourself, even look at this, right? Potential bottom, we moved up, what is this, 30, 35%? 50% upwards. So all of these times we're oversold and people are continuing to say we're going lower, right? Does that mean, is this 100% accurate? No, right? I'm not telling you to long here because of RSI. What I am saying is we are massively oversold, the most oversold since, I believe, COVID, right? This doesn't touch it, this doesn't touch it, COVID, right? So I am expecting, some type of move upwards, no matter what that is. And because I'm expecting a move upwards, I'm looking for longs. That's kind of how you tie everything together. It's like telling a story or reading a story. You're trying to figure out all the different parts. You tie everything together to make it make sense, and then you look for that setup. Yeah, I think that's what people also fail to understand is trading is 99% doing nothing and 1% doing something, especially if you're a swing trader, right? If you're swing trading the market, you're going to spend 340 days of the year not doing anything, probably, right? There's 25 days where maybe you make the trade, maybe you exit the trade, maybe you add more to your existing trade, but that's the life of a swing trader, and that's why I do it, because it frees up all of my time. Guys, I'm in my mid to late 20s, and I'm $100,000 off being a millionaire, right? I can do whatever. I don't want to say I can do whatever I want, but I can go enjoy my life, especially during the summer. If you're a day trader and you have to make that money every single day, like you have to do all of these things, right? Then you don't have time to. Oh, maybe you do. Maybe you just trade in the morning. But for me, I like swing trading because one, it works very well with the system I've created. Two, it allows me to go enjoy my life and go spend time with people, go spend time with my my semi-retired dad and go fishing with him, or go hang out with my 80-year-old grandfather on a Wednesday afternoon or a Wednesday morning. As great as money is, and you can probably make infinitely more money day trading than swing trading. There's also more risk, so remember that. But the reason why I like swing trading is I look at the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour, right? I check charts 2 or 3 times a day, real quick, and kind of base off that. And, as the days go by, because I've seen RSI and I know where RSI is, I'm expecting that long position, right? I'm expecting to take a long position soon. So I'm looking for a long position on the week or on the daily. If we were to go back to 30K-ish, we'll be able to make a head and shoulders. Maybe. I don't consider this a head and shoulders just because it's just too obvious, right? There was people. I mean, maybe. I don't want to say no. I'm not expecting a head and shoulders though. But is it possible? Maybe. But look at this. If we go back to 30K from here, 20% move upwards, and a lot of people are calling for down and lower and bearish and all this shit. Like, you're gonna miss out on a 20% possible move, and then on top of that, you can reinvest those profits if we do get that head and shoulders, right? So now you can take that short here with all those profits you made, and now you're making more money on the way down. It's just wild to me that people don't think that way. But I guess it takes a certain, amount of experience and amount of being around and looking at these things to see that. But I'm not expecting that head and shoulders to play out. Could it? Maybe. If it does, then I'll definitely short it. Entire CT is so bearish. Okay, well, if everyone is saying one thing, what does the market usually do? Right? Ask yourself that. When Bitcoin was 15K and everyone was screaming for doom, we went up. When we were at 69,000 and everyone was screaming for 100K, we went down. Flock opposite the herd. Stop. Don't listen to everyone else. If everyone else is saying one thing, do the opposite. All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm starving. Not starving. I'm not starving. I'm very hungry. Going to go eat. Just one reminder, my trading school starts next week on Tuesday. If you need any details or have any questions, DM me or go see Patreon. There's a link in the description below. I think there's a link in the chat. I also posted one on Twitter. But again, if you have any questions, just let me know. With all that said, be patient, users, man.